Ladies and gentlemen, David here from Groove Digital. Welcome to today's video. Today is Monday and we are building out a page. So on every Monday we build out live with you guys, hand in hand. We go step by step on how to build out a page. Today we will be building out an interesting page that is very simple to do. It is using most of the pre-made blocks, and it can be combined in just half an hour, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Some people that are just starting out their journey, they will need to work a bit longer because they need to learn how to use the tools here. But it is using the pre-made blocks. We pull them in, we edit the text over there, and it's finished. It is looking very nice, very simple, but it is working like crazy. This is a simple donor or a charity page where you actually ask for donations. And this has been asked from me a couple of other times before, like, David, why cannot we have like donation pages in Groove? I was like, yeah, this feature is not available, and it is not available. It's still not available, unfortunately. I believe it is already requested on feedback.groovedigital.com. So you'll need to just work on getting those upvoted. However, I want to show you a workaround until then. We will be using Groove, and we will be using another platform for the donation part. And this is a free platform, and you don't have to pay anything for that one. And it will be awesome because it can do a lot of interesting things that a donation or a charity would need to have. If you want to pay with PayPal, if you want to pay with credit card, in case you want to have monthly, yearly donations, and if you want to just do one time a donation, in case you want the donator to add some comments on there, we will work around all these things and features are that I just mentioned are implemented into this platform, which I will be mentioning here. So I just wanted to do this quick build for Monday. I was not planning to do it, but I've seen a couple of shocking videos online over the weekend, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm not donating. I'm not contributing anyway to people that don't have what I have. So I wanted to do something about that. And this is where I went out, opened my GroovePages account, and I started doing something. And I just found a way to actually do a donation page. And I wanted to show you this, how I can do that, or how I did that. I just wanted to read through some of the comments from the people that are joining in. I can see Kenneth Fax is here. Hi, Kenneth. It's good to have you here. Eldon is joining us from New Zealand. Rob is saying, good to see you, David. This is great. We work with hundreds of nonprofits. That is awesome, Rob. That is good to know. I'm not quite sure what kind of business are you in. You must probably have some kind of an agency or something for that one, but that is awesome. Yari Villainous is here. Amazing training and content you have here. Thanks. Awesome. Good to have you here, Yari. Terence saying hi, David. I have a person watching us on YouTube. Moni Moinulamin. Amin, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Most probably it is not. Hey, is the page import feature available? It is not yet. Kenneth saying, this will be good for me to share with several nonprofits. Absolutely. I have Ron saying, wow, this is good for my foundation, Mushindo, for judo kids. Awesome. Actually, my wife is a judo trainer as well, so that is great. Keisha Fox saying, good morning all. Hello from San Francisco. Spot on. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, yeah, guys, this is what we are doing, building a charity or a donation site or a donation page using GroovePages. It will be one page build. So this is what we are going through today. And let me just show you the site that we are creating. As I mentioned, this is very simple. It is not complex. We will just do a couple of custom things, but most of the things you will see on the page are pre-made wireframe blocks. Okay, so let's just have a look what we are building today. So this is the actual site. Let me just zoom in here for you. We have a simple logo, simple menu that when we click the menu, they're scrolling down below on the page. Contact email. When you click it, you can see here in the lower lower corner, it says mail to contact. So in case somebody clicks this, it's going to be sending an email. Charitable foundation, and then we have a call to action, very, very nicely highlighted. Also some more information over here. Our mission, what is the mission of the nonprofit, or the donations or things like this. Education, health and shelter. Then a nice image with an overlay with a quote or your goals or your mission statement. And then a couple of things. Why do the people, or why do the these companies that you're helping, why do they need actually help? And then you can tag them over here with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for example, in my example, I'm working with African children as like this is just an example that I took from a website online, and why African children need help: high mortality, no education, natural disasters and diseases. Then our projects. Then in case you have a Facebook page or something, you can connect these learn more buttons to the Facebook page, or you can connect it to a blog, or somewhere else where you are publishing content on more frequently. So you can do these. Also read some projects in case you have some publications, you appeared in some newspapers, or somebody featured you on their blog or something like that. You can also mention that here, like blog posts. And then we have another call to action over here, and then a big contact details for everybody that wants to contact you, with some social media icons over here, and then some legal links, and then the logo. So this is very simple. As I mentioned, I didn't want to complicate it. I want everybody to be able to do this. Even on the free account, you have access to all the wireframe blocks, so you can create this one very simply. So let me just show you what happens when you actually click the donate button. So when you click the donate button, there is a pop-up which opens up, which we can customize for ourselves. You can choose one time or monthly or annually donations. You can choose or you can set up yourself the amount you want to donate monthly, one time, or annually. You can also add on a comment in case the donator wants to write a comment. Then let's just choose 50 and go next. First name, last name. You can ask for different details over here on this page. And then you go to the third option, which is basically the donation. You type in your credit card details, or if you want, you can also choose PayPal, pay with PayPal, and then basically that is it. So now you donated to the cause that you believe in, and you will learn by the end of this training how to create a page like this. It is pretty simple. And what we are using for this donation form is a company that is called DonorBox.org. You can create your own donation forms and donation landing pages as well with this one. What I did is I actually created the form itself and then embedded it on our page, so that it loads quicker, it is nicer, and it is just basically connected to our GroovePages. And it is free, so you can start for free. You can also set up in the forms so that the transaction fees and the things like this are taken over by the donor. So in case you create the page, you don't have to actually pay for this software, because the donors could be covering the transaction fees and things like this, so which is awesome. I went through, I believe, 4 hours of searching through the internet for the best solution for what I need to connect it with our GroovePages site, and the DonorBox platform was the simplest and the easiest to navigate with. I believe I am a part now of 12 different donation services, and I will somehow need to cancel those. Most of them you cannot cancel your accounts, but I found DonorBox to be the complete solution for everything that you need. Most of the other platforms I signed up for, they had certain parts that I wanted, but DonorBox has all of them. So this is why I am doing this one today. I believe there's a need for donation, and I believe there are people out there that cannot get help other way except from donations, and this is why I want to show you. I want you to set up a donation platform for yourself, for your customers, for your clients, for whoever, but I want you to be able to do it. So this is the topic of today. We'll be using DonorBox and connecting it to a form, basically to a pop-up, which will look like this one, and then you can go and set up these donations very simply. So I believe we are ready to start now with the build. I will pull this, or I will just leave this over here. We will be able to see what we need to do, but it's fairly simple, guys. We have a navigation bar, we have a cover block, we have a features block, we have a content block, we have a, I believe this is also a features block. We have one more feature block, which is actually used for testimonials. I will show you how this was created. This is the hardest part, which we will be doing, taking the testimonials and then removing the circle image and then putting in a square image and then putting in a button as well. That's basically it. Over here, we already have these feature blocks created. We just pop in our text and images. This is also a feature block. This is another custom a custom block that we will be doing, but it's very simple. It's one block with a container that we put in the middle. We put white background on it and this is one paragraph of text and some icons at the bottom. And then a footer is just a very simple empty block with some paragraph text on it and then an image. Very simple. I probably mentioned very simple as the as the phrase very simple previously, so I will just try to not mention it anymore. But yeah, I believe we are ready to go and design this page. And I want to also take some time and work on the mobile responsiveness. Some of the things that we will be working on will not be immediately responsive, but I want to show you how to actually manage that yourself. Yes, so let's just start with the navigation bar. We go to blocks, wireframes, and then head over to navigation bars and just take one that looks the most similar to this one, which is a logo, some navigation menu links, and then anything over here. We can just change it later on. So we need to find something that has either three. So there is a logo over here. Let me just zoom in for you guys. So there's a logo over here, menu links, and the button, or logo, menu links, and social media icons. I used this one with social media icons, so I will just use that one again. I will zoom in over here like that so you can see it better. Then the next thing what we have is a cover block. Okay, so this is our cover block, and we'll just use a block from over here, which is cover, and I believe I used this one over here. So I'll just drag it into our canvas. Then the next one is a features block. Let me just show you which one I used. So we close the covers, we open the features section, and then we scroll all the way to the bottom. So we can see here headline and then 3 features over here. So we'll just take that one and then pull it right in here. There we go. So this is now the navigation menu, the navigation block, a cover block, a feature block. Now we have 3. This is a content block, so we can just pull that one in here as well. We close this one, and then we go to content, and then we find one that only has one line of text on it. So I believe I used this one. Okay, so it is headline and some bolded text. We'll just delete the headline. You click on it and then delete. There we go. So now we only have a block with some text on it. There we go. Now this is we'll need to find this one. I believe this is a separate block over here, so we can just choose not elements but blocks, wireframes, and let's just see. I believe this is some content. Yeah, I believe I used content or maybe features. I'm not quite sure, but we can use these features. Let's just use that one instead. There we go. So there is a separate block over here. We don't need the icon. There we go. This will be our heading. And then for this part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, there was something else over there. And I believe this is a feature block, which I found in the wireframe section. Features. Let's just have a look one more time. It was not this one, it is this one. So feature, it has feature 1, feature 2, and then icon on top. So this is the one I used. Here we go. It looks very similar already. We'll just need to style it, moderate it a bit, modify the colors, the texts, and things like this. So it is pretty easy to do this. We'll just create one of these blocks and then we'll duplicate it. So this is one block, but it has this container duplicated. Once we set it up correctly as we want it over here, then we can just duplicate the container and then we're done. Then this one is a bit tricky because we used again a heading with some testimonial blocks. And let me just show you which one I use, so we can copy over this one for the heading, like that. There we go. And then for this section itself, I was using testimonial blocks. So we are going to testimonials, and then I was choosing, I believe, this one. Let me just double check. Yeah, we use this one. So you can see here, we already have the border, we already have the text in it. We just need to make sure that our image is not the rounded image, but the square image. Everything will be pushed to the side, to the right-hand side from there. And then we can just simply add on a button below, and then we are done. We just create one, we duplicate it a couple of times, and then we just put in our content. Okay, this one is another feature block that we already used, like this one. We'll just use images instead of the icons. So let's just go up and then pull in another feature block, like that. And the last one on the bottom over here. There we go. So now this is done. And below that we have another content block, which we will just leave the upper part. We will add on another paragraph text over here and put in a button. So we can go into, oops, not this way, but pull in content block, which is this one over here, or we can actually use this one. It's already set up with the description or the paragraph text below it. We just don't want this headline here. Great, so that is it. Then this one will be done custom, and then we will just use another custom block for the footer. The reason why I do those custom, because we cannot, there is a one cover block which is very similar to that one, and this is this one, but we cannot move this container a bit up so that it is in the middle. For some reason it is hard coded like that, and whatever I tried, I couldn't manage it up. That would be the perfect solution for what we needed, but it isn't actually not a solution at this point. So we'll just need to use an empty container, not the empty container, the first one, but this one, because this already has a layout and the container inside. So we can use the container which is in the layout. This is what we want to use. And then for the bottom, we'll just use a wireframe block, an empty one, the first one, and pull it here below. And immediately we will place the paragraph text inside over here, and then an image at the bottom, so that we have it set up already as we want it. So that is basically it. We have now our site set up with the content we will need. We'll just need to go in, style it a bit, and then we are good to go. One more thing, what we will need in the first part, in the first block, is a separate container. So we have now this setup. So this is a cover block. We have this first part set up. We need to pull in a container where we will put a title with a description and the button inside. And then below that, we'll just duplicate this description and then pop it in here. And then that is it. So as I mentioned, we have the heading with a paragraph below it. We want to pull in a container below. Inside there, we will have a title and a paragraph, and then a button. solid button like that. So that is now fine. Let's just make sure that it is separate from the rest. So let's just add a background color to it. Here we go. And then we'll just duplicate this text, pull it below that, and then we are good to go. So this one is now set up. Over here we don't need anything else. Over here we don't need anything else. This one is also done. This one is also done. Over here we just want a button, I believe. Yeah, here. Oh, not here. Here. There we go. Just a button below this one, and then that is it now. We will work on this part at a bit later. We will have some paragraph text and then some icons, but I'll just leave this out for now. So this is it, guys. We have our page set up, everything that we need to do, everything that we will need to create our website to look like this, we just pulled in. It is pretty simple. Now our basic building blocks are on the page. We can just start modifying it. So let me just start with the cover block first, and then later on we can add on the navigation, because the navigation is the easiest to manage. So let's just decide our fonts and colors, and then we can work with that through the whole site. So I will use just the font, just a normal font color. Okay, on my side I believe I changed a couple of fonts, but I will just leave the basic one just to show you that it looks good even if you don't modify it a lot. So my blue color will be the second one from the top. So after the white, black, and then there is blue, the second one here. This will be my desired blue color. And then for this one, I will just use black, but in a smaller text font. Okay. So now charitable foundations, that is done. I will just make this text a bit smaller, so pushed in from the sides. And the way I do this is going to spacing, and then here the max width, I limit it to, I don't know, 40, maybe 50 rem, like that. So now we have the text nicely tied up below the heading. The next part I want to work with is on this lower part. We will put in the title to have white color, center it on the page, make it a bit bigger like that. Also the description will have white color, and we'll center that one as well. The button, we will set it up later on. I just want to be able to see it on the page. Let's just have a look over here. Button background, there we go, yellow, and then I want black text on it. Oops, black text. Here we go. So now what I want to do first is to space out everything and move it away from the top part. Okay, so inside the sizing, we click the width relative to the parent. Now we can actually size it out. But let's just try to relative to the page. No, relative to the parent. What I did first is the correct one, like that, and then we click inside the container over here. As you see, not inside the blue one anymore, but inside this container over here. We want to click the layout, and we want to center everything vertically. Now it is in the middle, so from here we can just go and space things out like that, and then basically that is it. We'll just work with the things that are written inside. So on the first part below the big heading, I want recovering from earthquakes part of text. There we go. This is it. And then over here, I want help African children in need. There we go. And below that is each dollar can make a change. There we go. Just paste that in there. And then we have everything set up. We can now add some spacing from, so we are now on the description on the lower part of the text. We can add on some top spacing like that. some top padding. And then the next thing what we can do is actually set up everything to be vertically, so our button comes to the middle. So I clicked inside the blue part, inside the blue container. As you can see, this is a container, and then I went to layout, vertical, and then center, the secondary option. Okay, and also we can space things out from the top and bottom like that. And then on the bottom we want it to say donate. So I clicked on the button, went to the configure tab, and then I set up the donate part of it, and I want to have bold text with some bit bigger text size. And then using the spacing, the padding, you already can see there is one REM applied. This is the inside padding of the button, which we can actually manage to be a bit bigger like that. Let's just put it on 2.5 REM, and on the top and bottom we can actually just leave it on 0.5. The next part, what we want to do is around the borders, or sorry, around the corners, to the max level, so that it is rounded like this. And then we want to click outside in the blue part of the container and add on some spacing as a padding. There we go. So this will make it a bit bigger inside. We can also move the things away a bit like that. There we go. So now we set up the container which is the call to action button. As I always say on all of my reviews when I'm reviewing a site, when you come to a page, you immediately need to know what they are asking from you. So we are asking people to help African children in need to donate. Okay, this is a very clear call to action. Below, we have one paragraph of text, which we will separate in two parts like that. So we'll just click inside to edit it. We paste it in, and as you can see, when we paste things in, then it is one block of text. So when we actually edit it, it's actually not. So if it would be like this, then when we edit it, everything is moving. So when you actually click the enter button, then you now separate it to two blocks of text. It is not one anymore. So when you size it, then it moves together, but it will be sizing one, and then we need to size the second one. I hope you understand me. So when I click now on this lower part of the text and I want to size this, only this part is moving. When I want to size the upper text, I click on that one and only the upper part is moving, as you can see it now here. So I actually want to move it a bit lower so that this is also like that, 1.5, and we want to make it the whole text container, the text element, I want to be sized max 50. Oops, this didn't go as planned. I probably need to select everything. So here we go. So now everything will be sized 50. There we go. So now it looks better. So in order to have the same font size, I will have a look. So 1.25, and then I can manage it to 1.25 here and then here as well. So a lot of people were asking me in the Facebook group, like, how can I add hyperlinks? And then these are the hyperlinks. So as you can see, we put a text element, a paragraph text, and we will add on a hyperlink. So when you actually want to click a part of this paragraph text, then you can actually connect a link or connect a page to that part of the text. The way this is done is by selecting the part you want to actually link in, and then you come over here to this chain icon. Then you can paste in your link or something that you want, where you want to send the people to. I will just leave a hashtag because I don't have a link now. But when you click out of it, it becomes blue. So when you actually select it and then manage it to be black, but when you click out of it, it will lose the underline, And then it is pretty important for the people to see that this is a clickable link, so we can put in the underline over here, and when you click out of it, now this is a clickable part, the clickable link with an underline that is set up in the paragraph text. So this is how you would do it. Yes, I believe we are done with the first part. It is looking pretty similar. Maybe this container is just a bit wider than what we wanted, so we can manage that one like that, but it is looking good. I'm very happy with it. So let's just go to the next one. It has a slight of a background color, which is a very bright blue, and we will set that up, and then the rest of the text elements. So here we will have this part, our mission, okay, and we'll leave the same text font. We'll just make the size a bit smaller, and I want it to be black. Is it black? Yeah, it is black. So we'll just set it up so that it is not this ugly dark gray, but actual black. And then on the background as well, as I mentioned, we will set up a slight shade of blue, which is this last one. Here we go. And what we need is a description. As you can see here, we have heading but no description, so we will copy over the description from here to duplicate from the top one and just pull it down below here. And then let's just set this up to be in the center. And why is it not coming to the center, which is like that? Okay, so now when we set it up, it is actually not moving to the center for some reason. So oops, not that one, but I wanted to delete it. Let me just try to copy this over. It is also moving immediately to the left. So what we can do is actually manage the container itself. We can just leave this one to be sized with max width, this one as well, like that. But we can maybe manage the container itself. So as you can see now, our container is chosen, which is holding the heading and then now the description. So we can maybe size this one accordingly. So we want this one to be auto, this one to be auto, but I want to put the max width to 40. Okay, it is not what we wanted, but let's just see if we can center align it. This is quite strange. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. So let me just try to delete this. And this one as well. And then let's try to bring in another element here, which I believe we cannot do it now. I need to put something here, something back here, because we deleted our container. So let's just try to do with this way. Copy. There we go. And then this one we don't need. This one we don't need anymore. Perfect. So let's just try to set it up now. Okay. This black. And then let's try to give it now a sizing of max width. Yeah, that's not something I wanted to do. It is for some reason not liking it on this part, but doesn't matter. We can manage it using the spacing. Hopefully it is working with us. And we can now edit the text to be center aligned. And there we go. So this is just a workaround for the time where we cannot actually manage it. I believe this is now the same as we have up here. But yeah, when we cannot do it one way, there is always a work around it. So this is what we just did. Let's copy over the text over here, paste. There we go. So we can make it bigger so that it is readable. And I believe we are done with this part. Maybe just to space it out a bit from the top. So I clicked on the text element and this text paragraph, and in the top margin I will just move it away a bit, like 0.5. This is fine. Okay, so we have this part now done. We need to set up our icons like that, and then set up the education, health, and shelter. So setting up our icons is pretty simple. You click on the icon itself, and then we can set up a book. Here we can also set up our color that we want, this second blue. There we go, maybe a bit bigger with 5XL. This is fine. And then education is the first one. There's always a way, David. Absolutely, I agree with this one. Okay. There we go. I'll just leave the lorem ipsum text. I'll just make it a bit smaller. I don't want it to be so big. I don't believe I touched it over here, so I'll just put it back as it was. So over here we will be working with this. I just typed in scope. I don't know what the actual name of this one is. Stethoscope. Okay, so if you type in scope, this is enough for the icon to find it, and then you can work with the stethoscope. Here we go. So over here it will be saying health. Health, and then over here we have a home which is called shelter. Oh, this is, I believe I typed in home. So we set it up as a 5XL, and then our color over here, update. Bam. So this part is done. It is very simple. It is not hard to do. We just needed to change a couple of things over, and then we are good to go. Okay, so I'm just looking through the questions. Okay, in case you have any questions, please put a Q in front of the question so I can easily see it. Question from Rob: how do you make the 3 photos at the bottom the same size all the time? You mean these ones or these ones? So at this point, as you can see, they are not the same size. What I would do, in case I would be doing it for a real project, I can actually manage show you now. I would probably put it in Canva or Photoshop or Photopea or some photo editing tool. I would set up my image to be 700 by 500, for example, and then I would just size the images to be all the same size, so they cannot go beyond 700 by 500. And then I will take those, save it, upload it, and then I would have all the images the same size all the time. But I will get to that part, Rob, and then I will show it to you. Do you know how DonorBox makes it tax deductible if you aren't a nonprofit? This is, I believe, an option. DonorBox has a lot of different options, so we'll just need to see if it is possible. Ron says, I always do it with Canva. I always do it with a Canva competitor. I use Crello for that one, but yeah, it's the same thing. So you just set up a new blank page, which is set up for exactly the pixels that you want to use, and then you pop in your images, resize them to be full, and then you save that one. Great. So this is done. Now we are going to this part. I will show you how this is done. It is pretty simple. So this block, as you can see highlighted in green, has a background image, and the background image that I found, I just typed in here charity. Okay, I will not load it in again, but this is the image with these children over here on the screen. I resize it to be 1000 in width, 1000 pixels in width, and I just select it. Okay, I center it like that, and I put a color overlay on it, my own color, my own brand color, and then I just manage the transparency, and then the font I will just make white, and it's almost looking already the same. Let's just copy over the text, paste it. Okay, so we didn't do it properly. So I wanted to actually show you this one. A lot of people may not know about this. So as you see, first time when I pasted something, so I right click and paste, it actually loses the styling because I am copying text over from somewhere else, and it doesn't know the styling. However, there is two types of pasting in text. One is without styling, and then the other one is with styling. So here, now when we pasted these things inside, as you can see, it lost the styling. However, if I select everything and delete it, and then I actually go in the, actually, I didn't need to delete it, just select it like that. If you press Control Shift and paste, okay, that didn't go as planned. So when you actually have the white text, or actually the set up the text as you want it, for example, I want it white, and now if you press Control Shift and paste, it will keep the styling. It will just pop in the text that you want it to use. So the styling from GroovePages will not be changing, but you just need to paste it where you already set up the style. So if I want to paste it here, and then I select this text, and I click Control V to paste, you will see that it will paste in the new unstyled unstyled things, unstyled text. But if I go back and then I choose this text which is already styled, and I press Control Shift and then paste, it actually pastes it in and then keeps the styling of it. This I learned from Google Docs. They use the same principles of pasting in styled things or unstyled, so this is available also inside GroovePages. But anyway, I will select the text now, and I will just add some spacing. You can do margins, I believe, space it out as you want it. For example, 5 rem, it is looking great. I believe this is the same thing that I did here. As you can see, it is looking pretty cool. Maybe the background a bit dark like that. Here we go. It was pretty simple to do. Okay, so that is it. Let's just do the rest. Why African children need our help. Okay, so here, why African children need our help. Let's delete this part. In my tutorial, I don't have description, so I'll just leave this one for now. And we can make it a bit smaller, 2.25. Okay, and then over here, you can see that this block has a lot of padding inside. So I'll just remove this padding like that. Actually, only the lower one. Top one I wanted to keep. God, David. Here we go. Just the top one, and then the bottom one I will remove completely. Here we go. Like that. Here we go. So, and then this block, it also has a bit of spacing on the top, so I'll just remove that so that the features over here are a bit closer. So these circles are custom made, and I wanted to show you how you can do this one. You don't need icons, you don't need anything. This is actual text, it is not an image. I've seen a lot of these circles around the user sites that they actually create an image in Crello or Canva or Photoshop, and they save the PNG file, they save the image file, and then import it. However, this can be done inside GroovePages without the need of any photo tools. And the way I do it is by pulling in just a heading 3 or any kind of text element, deleting this part, okay, and just typing in 1, okay. So now I increase the font size a bit, like 2 point, let's put it on 3, and then we can resize it later on. Actually, let's just resize it first. 1.5. Let's just leave it at 1.5. This will be our number size. Okay, and then here in the borders, we can add on a border all over. So basically all around, we can add on, I believe that was 2 pixels of, let's do this dark blue, and then we make it completely rounded. Okay, this was the border setup. So now we set up the spacing. So we set up everything around like that. And then as we can see, if we add on spacing on all of these padding inside paddings, it becomes an egg-shaped element. So let's just unclick the sides and let's just work with this one. And if we put the sides to be 0.75 and then the top and bottom to be 0.25, it is giving us a circle. So this is how I created those circles over here. As well, you can do more padding inside if you want. You can do, for example, if we click on this text element, you can play with this, with the spacing. If I increase this by 1, I will also probably need to increase the sides by 1, and then we can have a circle again. So whatever you do, if you increase it by 2, then the other 2 you will need to increase by 2 to have a perfect circle as well. After that, it is pretty simple to navigate it. You can just put it, push it up and down using the spacing like that. That's it. Very simple. So now we can just duplicate this text element over here. We'll pull it onto the other feature over here. We delete the icon, and as this is just a text element, we double click, and then we can edit what it says inside. We want it to say 2. There we go. It is very simple, but it's pretty cool when you see these kind of circles on the sides. So high mortality, we need to copy this one. Instead of feature 1, we paste in high mortality. Just delete this and then make it smaller, 185. There we go. This one a bit smaller as well. Yeah, 125. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so there is a people that are actually promoting different kinds of photo tools. Here is saying I use Photoshop Elements, it's 100 one-time fee. There's another Facebook user, Affinity Designer, it's $50 one-time fee. I use Photopea, it's $0 one-time fee, which is which is kind of great. And as well, Canva, you don't have to pay anything for doing these types of things. But yeah, anyway, let's just go back to our build. So I will design these 2 first, and then we can just duplicate the container, and then we don't have to do it again. So we're using the spacing. I selected this one, and using the spacing on the top, we can move this one away. I believe it was 0.5. Let me just have a look. It was actually 1. We removed it by 1 like that, and then this one is this big, and no education is coming in. My nose is very itchy, guys. I don't know what's happening, but it is already a couple of days. There we go. So we just delete this one, and then this text is going to be a smaller as well, like that. So now we actually did this part. What we want to do is just remove the background color and put it back to white. And we'll do it on the top ones as well, because I forgot to do it over here. I want it to be white like that, and also on the navigation. The navigation consists of 2 things. The navigation consists of the background, and then the background of the actual nav links. So these are the navigation links. So we will go into the background and set it up like that to be white. So this is the nav menu. The nav menu have a background color. We need to set that up to be white as well, so then everything is white. Okay, so this is done. Now look at this, guys. It is pretty simple. As when you select one container, you can go up by 1, and now you have the stylable element selected. You can duplicate it, and you have copied it over, exactly the same thing. So as you know, we just type in 3 here, we type in 4 here, and we just copy over these ones. Of course, you will probably need to work on the text for your sites if you want to publish them live. For this tutorial, I'm just going a bit faster because I want to show you how to set up DonorBox. I also want to show you how to set up the mobile responsiveness. These ones are more important at this point than the exact text that is written on the site. You can consider this as a template, what we are creating now, to be used later on. So over here, there's enough spacing. Maybe on this one, we can add on a bit more spacing on the top. Let's just leave it at 4. There we go. That is looking nice now. And then over here, we'll just copy over our projects like that. And then we can smaller like that. It's 225. Okay, so this is the same size now. Let's copy over. Oops, wrong button. Let's copy it over, paste it in here. There we go. And then we can try to actually put up the sizing. It is already done. Let's just do it on 50. Perfect. And then on here, I don't actually need this anymore. I want to remove the spacing on the top. Okay, so you see, this is a bug that sometimes happens. People were asking me, why is there like a blank space over here? This is not a block. This is a block. This is a block over here, but there is some type of a spacing that is there. So this is a bug that is happening for no particular reason whatsoever. But when we increase it to 0.25, then it actually removes this white spacing. I don't know why this happens. I already talked with the devs. So you just, in case this happens to you, try to work with the spacing, try to work with the padding or the margins, and try to make it not 0 but something bigger than 0, in case this white space happens to you on any kinds of site. This is being looked at. There is no particular thing. I was sitting on a call with the devs for, I believe, an hour, trying to figure out what causes this one, but nothing was found. So in case you have something like this is a workaround. Just increase the spacing on that one until we don't find a solution for it. So just to showcase one more time, in case you have something like this, everything is set up on 0, but you have this white space, just increase it a bit, and then it basically pops back the block section to be bigger. Okay. And then over here we have our text. I want this to be a bit smaller, like that. And then over here, so this is the trickiest, what we will be doing most probably today, is pasting an image and bringing in, so instead of this rounded image, we will want to use a normal image. So not a rounded image, but a square image. And we will just put it here in the same place. We can delete this rounded image placeholder, and then over here, instead of the text John Doe, we will just pull in a button like that here. So a solid button. Okay, there we go. And then we can now delete the John Doe. We don't need it. We can delete GroovePages. And that is basically it. So here we are missing one more heading. So I can just copy this one. It already has the styling that I want. Here on the top, align it to the left, and then let's just make it a bit smaller. 1.5, and as you can see, it is here on the top and it has some spacing below it. We'll just remove that spacing from here to be a bit smaller, like that. So now we basically have pretty much everything set up. Sponsor an African child. Paste in. There you go. And I will just leave the lorem ipsum, but this one I want to work with. I will add on some borders with 2 pixels, and I want the borders to be in this yellow color. Okay, and in the background I don't want any color, so I will set it up on white and just remove the, I will move it to be 100% transparent. And for the text I will put in black like that. Okay, the weight will be semi-bold, and I will type in learn more. Next thing, I want to actually round the corners. Using the borders, you pull this lever all the way up till the end, and now you can see what you are missing. When you click out of it, I believe it is too tight together, so I will click on the button and then edit the padding on the sides. I want it to be having a bit of space between the borders and then the text, so I will just click on the left and the right of the padding and then pull this a bit bigger. 175 is looking good. And good. So that is basically our button. Now we can just go into configure, and then we can choose the image that we want. So I went into free stock photos and just typed in Africa or charity or basically the search terms that you are looking for. This is how I found these images. I would be using the same images. I just clicked on them, resized them. This image would be almost 5,000 pixels in width. I just removed, basically, I just made it 500 pixels in width so that it is much smaller, and it looks basically like that. So in the design, we can set up the sizing of it to be maximum, not 30, maybe 20. Yeah, 20 is looking great. So we clicked on the image and we set up the sizing to be maximum 20 rem. This is setting the image up to be not bigger than this. Okay, and that basically sorts it out. Now we can select the whole stylable element. You can see over here, we can just clone it 1 time, 2 times, and we just change over the images. Perfect. And then help to build schools. This image, I believe, yeah, this one, there we go. And then so you can, these buttons are going to be leading you somewhere in case you have, for example, a Facebook page or a Facebook group, or you are publishing content somewhere and then you want to update the, or basically keep the people in touch that are donating on what you are actually doing. You can connect those Facebook posts or blog posts or news articles to these buttons very simply. So this is a button, you come in here, link to a URL, and you just basically send the people somewhere where you have published those contents. Okay, over here, support teacher training. Paste like that, and then a different image. I just want to choose this one. Perfect. So this is now, our block is done. We just need to set up this blue background instead of this gray one. So we have 2 blocks. This is one block and the lower one is the second one. So we'll just choose the blue and then the lightest version of it. Background blue, this light, and now we have it sorted. That is basically it. Recent projects. Okay, paste it in. There we go. Just copy this over, and then we can pull it below here. Let's try to set up the sizing again to be 50. Okay, so it is again giving, I believe these feature blocks have a some kind of problems when we are setting this up, but doesn't matter. Let's just set it up on max width and then use spacing inside. I believe it was 12, which was setting everything up correctly. Okay, so we copy our this text to here. Again, it's not using the same styling, so we'll just paste it using the shift. Here we go, 125, and I want to size this over smaller, 3 rem, maybe a smaller, 2.25. And yes, so instead of icons, we'll be pulling in images. And this is where I mentioned to Rob that I will be showing you guys how to actually do the image resizing. So I will do that now. So I will go to Canva. I'll use Canva for this example. I want to have images in a type of, I don't know, maybe Facebook post. So let's just go into Facebook post. And then this size. Every image will be this size, okay? You can do custom sizing, that is not a problem. I just want to do it a bit quicker. And then you need to find your images. You can use Pixabay or Unsplash or any kind of other free stock photo library. You can look for, what kind of image would we need here? A school, Africa, school. Just use any of these images. I'll use this one, free download. You can choose which dimension you want. Okay, download. You would need to actually say thanks to the author. You can do it in one of your legal pages or something like that, but I just want to show you this one very quickly how I would do it. So there we go. Then I pop it into the upper right hand corner, resize it. There we go, something like that. And then actually save this one. So when you save this as an image, I suggest JPEG because this is a smaller image size, a smaller file, and then you can just say image 1. Here we go. Where was I logged out? Doesn't matter. Let's log back in. Hopefully everything is saved, because it is not, then I will freak out. Okay. Yeah, so it does not save it. This saved it until here. Anyway, we'll just redo it, no problem. So what we can learn from here, guys, is very important to save your work, guys. There we go. So I'll continue from here. Now we have the image saved, and we can just upload this image. And any other image that we pull in there, it will have the same aspect ratio. So we can now set it up to be, let's say, 500 or 450 dimensions. Content saved. I usually click out and click back in just to see if it worked, and then when we update, then we have our image. I believe this is a bit too big, so we can go in there and then actually work with the height, because the height is a bit too big. So we can do it 250, like that. Update dimensions. So when would you use PNG versus JPEG? PNG is a bigger file size, and I use PNG when I need something transparent. When I don't need anything transparent, then JPEG is what I use, because it is a much smaller file size. You cannot get PNGs. For example, the JPEGs that you get in this resolution, 450 by 377, you cannot get them in 47 kilobytes. They will be bigger. So this is when I use, basically when I use images like these, I just use JPEG. There we go. it didn't change, but I'll just leave it as it is. I wanted to just show you how you would do it. I'll just go with the same examples I have from my tutorial there. You will see the images are different sizes, but that is not a problem because I just want to show you how I would set it up. Okay, so over here, new school in Zimbabwe, black, lorem ipsum, this way. I don't know why I just copied over lorem ipsum and pasted in lorem ipsum. That was just silly. But yeah, let's just use this text now on all of these. There we go. And then we can just duplicate this image and then pull it on the other ones as well. Delete the icon. And I will save it because I don't want to lose it again. I mean, we didn't lost a lot, but still. Okay, let's just save it quickly. In the meantime, I will copy over this text over here. We have our content saved. Let's just paste this one over here. And here we set it up as black. This one we want maybe a bit smaller as well. And then below that, we will be putting in a button. So that is the next step. What we do, we will pull in one button, design it, and then just copy it over. Or actually, we can use we cannot use because it was deleted. We already set up some buttons over here. I thought we could use those, but it is not possible anymore. Yeah, over here, we'll just pop in this text. Perfect. And now this part, make it black, make this bit smaller. There we go. Make it black as well. And then change over the images. So click on the image, choose image, and then use this. Update. As you can see, my images are different sizes because I didn't bother to change the different resolutions. I just used the original photographies or stock photos that I found inside the free stock photo library. There you go. So now the last thing we are missing is the button. We'll just need to redo the button because it was deleted from the upper part over here. So let's just bring in a button here in the middle. As we said, we want the text to be black. We want it to be semi-bold, maybe a bit bigger like that. We want the background to be gone. Because this one is not working, we will just click on the color and make it transparent. And then set up a border around everything like 2 pixels. This yellow, I want it to be completely rounded. Now the next part is going in there and actually setting up the button like this. And I will just leave the top. So learn, or that will be our button. Here we go, maybe a bit smaller text size because we don't need it so big. 1 rem is fine. Good, so here you go, button there. Maybe we can just put some spacing on the top. Like that, 1 rem, that's great. There we go, and just last spacing over here. Okay, so this is a quick editing because I mistakenly forgot to save the work and my builder just refreshed, and then I would just need to do it from the beginning, but I'll just continue moving on. Maybe I will delete those blocks and then go back to that later. But you have it on recording what I did exactly. Here we go. I believe this one was giving us the issue, so we can just size it up as 12 pixels like that. Maybe a bit smaller as well. Okay, so this section is going to be white. and we set it up as a background color white. There we go. And then the next part is going to be the call to action, and this is the background color will be blue. Text is going to be white. This is going to be white, and we're going to use our pretty funky donate button from the top of the page. Here we go, this one, and we'll just drag it all the way to the bottom. I found when you're moving it to the left and the right while I'm holding it there, then it moves a bit quicker. So maybe something you can try out. But yeah, that is it. So over here, it will be saying this. Maybe it's more. We'll just leave it big. And then over here, each dollar can make a change. And we can either make it a bit more transparent so that we change the color of it. I'll just leave it for now. We can just leave it as it is and make the block. So now I selected the block and I set up the spacing on the block. So I want padding so that it is like that, 4 rem, like that. Okay. Now the next section, as I mentioned, it will be custom made. So what I mean by custom made is we have now an empty block there. We will make the container white. We set up all this as a paragraph text. And the way I do it, so you can see I have this empty container over here. I'll pull in some paragraph text, which is over here. I double click it, I paste in my text. Oh, and then we will be working with our container first. So I want the container to have a background of white, and then I want my block to have a background of an image. And this will be this image. I didn't find a better one. When I actually see this image, it looks great, but when you actually use it in your design, it looks like the hands are bloody. But I didn't find a better image, so I just decided to go with this one. And then over here, I want to make the block sized in height relative to the page 100 viewable height. So, or visible height. I still don't know what that is. But now when we actually have the page scrolled up, this is the top and this is the bottom, because this is the viewable height of the whole block. So then we can actually select the layout, as you can see, the layout that is holding our container, and we can move it a bit, not this way. I believe I was using this. We can move it a bit down, and then we still have the container to play with. We can add on some padding on there. We can manage the text and everything that is in there. So this is pretty cool. So the container, I want to size maximum 40. Okay, so this is not going to be working because what can I do? So as you can see, if I manage it to be a bit smaller, it is actually popping to the left hand side, and the layout itself that is holding it, you cannot position things to be centered. So what we can do is actually put this back. So this is a bit more advanced sizing structure. So in case you are new, don't be afraid of this one. It will come slowly to you as well. But for everybody that is already familiar with the sizing and spacing and the layout options, so these three, you will understand what I'm saying here. So I will drag in a new container into the existing container, and then what I will do is actually set up just drag in my text into this new container. Okay, so now what I can do is actually I can make the container, the back one, we can set it up to display everything vertically centered, but the top container that is holding our text, now we can actually size it to be 30, 40, and it will be staying in the middle because we sized the previous container. So on this background, we'll just remove the text, and on this container in the inside, we can add on the background color. So this is just a way around it because of this left alignment of when we resize something. But yeah, it is still easy to do. So there we go. Now we have our container like that, and then we can style this thing out. So we are open for questions by phone or email, and then we actually separate it from here and here, and then over here, this is our address. Now, guys, I wanted to show you something cool that you may not know. As I mentioned that there was an update where you separated text, and when you click on one text where you actually separated one text element to different paragraphs, you can manage them all separately. Like, for example, I clicked on this phone number now, and when I increase the phone number as a font color, only this one is increasing. But this is not only for the text option over here. This is also for the spacing options. So let me just show you. When I select these two and I go into spacing, I want to add on some top and bottom padding. Actually, we will probably need to do it separately. So I want to add on some bottom padding on this one. You can see we can work with the padding. We can do padding on the text itself. Then I want to remove it by 1 by 5, and then on this one I will add some top padding, which is 1.5 as well. So now I didn't use the enter, basically the space inside the text element, because we are in the text element. I used padding. This is just a different way you can work with. I didn't find anything different when I'm doing this one, so don't ask me what's the difference and which should I use when. I'm not quite sure. I just thought that this may be useful for somebody, some of you, so I wanted to show you this one as well. 1.125 is fine, like that. And then on here I need some social media icons, and the social media icons I will do also in the same container. I will try to add them on like that. And I just go into elements, icons, and I drag them in here. So what I will do is immediately set up the container to align everything vertically like that. And then when I choose, for example, Facebook, select this yellow color, not yellow, maybe do it in the blue, because the blue is our color here. I can just simply duplicate it, but here is the problem because it is not going next to each other. So maybe I can click on the layout and put it inline flex, and this one as well, the first one. Let's just do it this way. In case it is not working, then we can do another container. I just wanted to see if this would work. So we already have flex. Let's just try inline flex on the container. Okay, no. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do now, guys, is when I duplicate something, when I put in an icon and I want the icon to come next to it, not below it. So this is what I'm playing with, but I believe it is not possible inside this container for some reason. I will need to use another one. So I will just pull in another container and place this icon inside. And then now when I set up the container to show up everything in the middle, I believe I did a mistake here. I believe this can be set up. It's just that I clicked this button. And if I set up everything as I did previously, only don't click the vertical. This is my mistake, guys. Let me just show you what I mean by it. So if I set up the container to be block, okay, so now it is back to the previous position. Let me just try something. So this is now me testing. So don't get angry with me, but if I just press this button and then set it up in flex, no. I believe there was a way yesterday I did it without the container itself. No, it immediately pops back to flex. So let's just do it the way I wanted to do as a workaround. Good. So container icon is coming in the container. The container will be set up as a vertical center, and then when I duplicate these things, it immediately doesn't do what I want to do because it needs to be set up inline flex. Let's open now. Nope, it is not listening to us. Let's try it now. Yeah, there we go. Finally. So this is what I wanted to do without the container itself. Take the vertical off the container, then copy, then make it vertical again. So I believe this is what I tried to do, but it didn't work. So I'm just reading Joel's comments over here. Yeah, these layouts are sometimes not the easiest to work with, but I believe I got what I wanted, even though I used an extra container. So we have a container in a container in a container, which is not ideal for other building platforms because all this needs to be loaded on the site. But in GroovePages, it is not a problem with loading because it is loading fast anyways. Dean, I had the same issue yesterday, finally just gave up. Don't give up, Dean, there's always a workaround. No need to give up. I believe what I did now to manage to do, I tried it without the container itself, and I will give it another go. So what I want to do is set up the layout of this one to be centered, and then block center. I'll just leave it. Let's just continue without. Yeah. So now we want this to be go to the side, and this we will have. Okay. So Facebook color to be dark blue. Update. Okay. The next one will be Twitter. Birdie here. There we go. And then we'll just duplicate another one and do Instagram. There we go. Okay, so now I take the birdie in the middle one and then just paste it away using the paddings on the side. There we go. Maybe 1.25. Yeah, that's looking good. And now using the whole container, which is holding my icons, I can just move it away from the rest of the text using the margins like that. There we go. So now we have done what I wanted to do from the first part when I started. Is just a bit longer. So the last thing, I will put a color overlay on the image like that. Then maybe we can pull the container up like that so that it is in the middle of the hands. Then the next part is to actually finish the design by designing the footer, and the block of the footer is black. The first thing I will put is the colors of the font to be white so I can find them later on. And then the background I will set up as black. There we go. So on the text, it will say privacy policy and terms and conditions. This is something that is needed, I believe, on every page, so I will add that on here. And then my logo, I just designed a very quick logo inside Photopea. It is nothing special. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Lemon donation. and I will edit it to be maximum 20 rem, and then set up the layout to be vertically in the middle. There we go. So on the block itself, I can add on some padding. Like that, and I can also add on some spacing that it is not together. So these would be ideally links using the hyperlinking, where you select part of the text and then you link it to using this chain icon. I will not be doing that now. I just want to go back and yeah, I'm just sorry about this because it was not saved. Let's just save now, and then let's just do the logo itself. I'll change this one to the lemon donation logo, and that's fine. Here, this one I will set it up to be a bit smaller, 1125, and then over here, instead of this one, I want to put in some text. So I will use heading 4 and then delete the social media icons, and then on the text I want to be our email address. So when somebody clicks the email address, we can actually we give them the option to email us immediately. So contact@lemondonation.com. This is not a real email address, so you don't have to test it out. Nobody will be answering you. There we go. So we can just set up the font to be normal, and then maybe make a bit bigger size like that, 125. I just do 1 rem. There we go. And now what I want is I want to link it. I want to link it to mail, to column, and then our email address. Make sure that there is no space between mail to column and then the email address, and then this one, when you press enter, now this is a hyperlink. When you hover over it, you can see here in the lower left hand side corner that it is saying mail to contact@lemondonation.com. So to actually make this presentable, we can underline it and then make it black so that it is looking like an actual link. There we go. Over here where it says home, we want to go to configure it. Pages to exclude, we want home to be excluded. Okay, and then I want to add on 3 external links. One will be for about, one will be for project, and one will be for contacts. About, project, contacts. Okay, and then the first, I will save it. Okay, so Keisha is saying, can you show us quickly how to change the color of the visited hyperlink, please? Darkly blue shows up in my live environment, even though the text color is set to gray. So yeah, in case you just double click the text again, you click this one, and then using this color option, you need to change it, because even if the text is set up to black over here, when you do basically when you do hyperlinking using this link icon, it changes to black. Now you need to override, it changes to blue. Now you want to override with this one to not show blue but to show black instead, and then this is how you do the override using these color options. There is not a lot of color options over here, so you need to just see which one you want to use, but that's how you do it, Keisha. There we go. So yeah, now this navigation, the nav menu, I want to just resize to be a bit smaller, like that, 1125. And I want to link them. So when you actually click the about, I want to show our mission. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is the third block. Okay, so we can go into the nav menu. The about will be linking to block, or actually it is not working. So we can link it to block 3 and then test it out. At this point, we have a small bug that is not allowing us to do it using the block linking, but yeah, we can just test it out just to see nation. Okay. when we actually open it, most probably it will be 404 page. No, it is not. So when we actually click about, it opens up a hashtag something. So it is an error, which is not actually opening up the blocks that we want. So using this one, because it says hashtag something, using this knowledge, we can actually name our blocks and send them to the right link. So I know that this is my about block. So I come into this block, custom attributes. In the elements ID attribute, I will call it about. I want to call it the name of the block. So this is now about block. Now I can go back into the nav menu and add on the link of my page, which is lemon.groovepages.com/donation/. Okay. And now I can go into the nav menu and set up not attach link to a block, but attach link to URL. I will paste in my link and I will add on hashtag about, because now it will be targeting the hashtag about is targeting the block that I called about. Okay, so this is what I set up now. So the page URL, in case it would be, for example, Eldon's site, it would be eldon.com/hashtag about. Okay, so your root domain /hashtag something. Good. So I'm just saving it, publishing it, and then we can test it out. We can just see if it works or not. So let's just open it. I'll just click one more time, refresh just to make sure. And then over here in the left-hand side corner, you can see what it loads in. So lemon.groovepages.com/donation/about. And when we click on it, it actually scrolls us down to this page, to the block. So as you saw, first time when we tested it, it was not transferring us over. It was hashtag XSTGUV something. However, in case you just name your block and then click it, and click the nav menu or any kind of link that you set up using this this workaround, it will be working. So let's just add on our the names of the other blocks. So we have project and contacts, so we can just name this one our projects. I'm so sorry that this didn't work out. I will not be going back to fixing it because I want to just continue moving on with this tutorial, but this will be our projects, like that. And then we will have this one will be our contact. So make sure you call the block contacts. Contact is enough. Okay. Now we can go back to our nav menu. We can go to the configure, and when we can actually call the URL will be pasted in like that, and then hashtag project. Okay. And then the third one will be URL pasted in hashtag contact. Naming the block, is that universal to the site or just the page? So in case you are on the home page, you will not have any other pages. So for example, I will demonstrate it. Okay, so now as you've seen, lemon.groovepages.com/donation/hashtag project. This is a link to the project section on this page. Okay, but if I go and open a new page, now this page is called page 2, and I want to link to this one, it would be a link which is lemon pages dot so lemon.groovepages.com/donation/page-2/hashtag about, or something like that. But you need to actually name the sections also on the page 2 in order for that to work. But even if you go deeper, so you do on your root domain, you do a page, and then you can name those blocks as well, and then you can set them up using the same knowledge. So this is not universal only for one page. This is universal for your whole site. You can use this knowledge. There we go. So now I want to delete this page too because it is showing up in my navigation bar there. But there we go. We publish it one more time, and let's just test it out quickly. Okay. So let's open it. Let's hit the refresh button one more time. So project should be loading the project button and then Conat. So this, I'm completely messed up the link, which is con like that. And then I believe I named it projects. Projects, yeah, with an S. So back to this one. So this is state contact, and over here it needs to be projects. Okay, update, publish, and we will be testing it now. Good. Let's just refresh this page. So projects, okay, it is scrolling down to the project section, and then contact. Okay, here we go. So contact is showing up very nicely. Great. That is it. We also set up this this link to be clickable. So once somebody goes up to the top of the page and clicks this link, the email software opens up so that we can send an email immediately to this link. So that is it about on the page. I will go into trying to set it up as a mobile responsive. I'm just sad that this looks like this. So I believe I will go into and actually edit it as I want it to look like, because I don't like to do half-baked jobs. So let's just do it quickly. I'll not go through a lot of talking. We want an image over here. This will say sponsor child in Africa. I duplicated this one over, pulled it inside here like that. Bam, a bit smaller. An element of an image will be pulled inside here. I want to build it out because this is the tricky part with the responsiveness. So I don't want to leave you guys hanging in case you want to actually build out a page like I am showing you right now. That would be unethical to leave you guys hanging. So I'm just doing my part over here. There we go. It is done quickly. I'll just choose an image, and this will be the image. We will need to resize it, and as I showed you previously, we need to do sizing max width. I believe I set it up at 20. Yeah, it looks great. And I think this is how it looks like. Okay, so over here I need to change the background of this block to be this blue over here as well, to change the background of this block. And now I can actually duplicate this part over here and this part over here. Just quickly change over the text. So here we'll just paste this text in. There we go. And the image is a different one. It is going to be this, not this, this. Update. Okay. So I didn't do the right image anyway. Let's just choose this one over here. Update, and then over here we'll do the teachers image, which is this one, I believe. And paste. There we go. And the last one, help build schools. There we go. Paste. Okay, so I quickly redid it. It's most probably not looking exactly as I want it on the other page, but I made sure I save it and it looks better than what it would look without me setting it up now. So let's just have a look at it quickly and how it looks like right now. So we have a small logo. We have set up this navigation bar over here. This is basically our page. It is looking good. This is it. This is this part. I need to refresh it. There we go. So our project is showing up as well. Recent projects. There we go. Bam, with that. So now our page is updated. So let's just have a look how it looks like raw format on mobile version. So let me just move these away, actually close it. So this is mobile version of our site. So you can see that it needs a bit of spacing around, and then just remove this contact. Over here it needs a bit of more work because we used padding to make things centered. This is looking great. This one is looking fine. It looks okay. If we have things like this needs to be worked on. This is actually looking fine. So it doesn't require that much of attention, but we still need to work on it a bit. As you can see, we need to space out the image from the text itself, and here we may want to center align these things. Or here it is not that visible because it is looking okay, but we may want to center the text on this one, and also the button, so that it is in the middle. And yeah, some things where we set up the centering using the padding options, we need to work on that one, for example here as well. This one we need to resize or make it big, a bit bigger, and then I cannot close the menu for the bug that is happening on all the pages over here. But it is looking great on the tablet. This is fine. This is looking great. This is actually nice. There's not a lot to do on this device. Let's just check the other one. A bit bigger is the laptop. So this is the laptop view, and it is also looking quite good. So I don't need to do a lot of things on here. It's just that the two smallest devices need a bit of attention. So great. So let's just work with that one. So I will click on this one, and then everything's smaller, so that in case I'm working with any changes, that it is also changing on there. So I want this one actually on this device on it to be a bit bigger. On here I cannot see it, but I can see that it is not changing to this big size. So let's just have a look. This one I want to actually work with the spacing. Why is it not showing the spacing? Because we applied the spacing to the container itself. So we can just move it back a bit like that. And on here you can see that this font is not changed. So let's just change this one like that. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking great. There's no need anything here, but we can maybe work with the spacing of this section. I can move it back to 5, and the rest is fine. This is great. This is great. Good. So let's just save it and then move to a smaller device. I'll move from the top. There we go. So we can not see the first part because of our navigation bar. There is a bug where, actually I can, when we are checking the live site, for some reason the nav bar menu is opened. So this hamburger menu is open. There is a fix for that one that is being published today, so you don't have to worry. It is going to be fixed very soon, but I'm happy with this part. I'm just not happy with this, so I will probably work with the sizing of it a bit like that. Yeah, I believe this looks better. On here, I can also work with the spacing a bit more to show more text so that people don't have to scroll so far. This is looking better. I'll just leave it as it is. Here, maybe we can move this font size a bit bigger, like that. Dun, dun, dun. And then over here, this is where the most changes will be happening, because I want to space. So as you can see, when I click on here, this is going to be styled to be in the center. So when I click on this image, it is showing up the image, but inside the image, if I go one level up, it has a container as well that is immediately big as the image itself. So I cannot center the image inside the container when the container is as big as the image. So we will need to figure something out. For the text, it is not a big problem. So I can center that, no problem. However, for the button, it will be a problem. But what I can do is I can see that this is a container. So I can just set up the layout of this one on these two devices so that they are centered. Okay, so this is not a problem. However, let me just show you what I would do with the image. So I would go with the container, and then in the sizing, I would set it up to be auto. Okay, and then actually not auto, but relative to the parent, and then make it 100% to the parent size. Okay, and now I have some space to play with it, and I can just position it in the middle. So what I needed to do is actually set up the container to be bigger. It will mess up the bigger screen sizes. I will show you later on, but we set up that everything is positioned in the middle. So I will repeat. So what I did, I clicked on the image itself, and I went into the sizing. Actually, I went into the sizing of the container. So click on the image, go up to the container. So you have the container chosen, sizing relative to the parent, 100%. Now we can see the actual container over here. And now we can go into layout, vertical, and then center. And then over here, the text, we can just center using these options. That is not a big problem. However, for the button to be centered, we need to go to layout and then center it vertically in the middle. Here we go. So now this is set up. Let's just do the last one. So I will set up this one, layout, vertical, middle, and then also this one and also this one. So for the image, one level up to go to container, we choose the sizing relative to the page, so relative to the parent, and then we go and choose the layout, vertical, center. There we go. So now we have that centered on these two devices. We will not need to do the same thing on a mobile. Let's just have a look for this one. So I want to click on the name, so basically the title, and then space things out this way. I believe this is fine. 1 rem of spacing, like that. There we go. So this part is looking great, this part is looking good, and then the rest is fine. So let's just do quick scroll around everything that we have here. Okay, this looks fine, this looks great. Okay, perfect, great. So now on our mobile, this contact@lemondonation.com is just coming in the way. So I will click on this one. I will try to choose the container itself and then hide it, because on the mobile, I don't want this email to show up because it is just not displayed nicely. So I will go into layout and then choose. So I selected the container and I will choose none. Okay. I will go one device bigger and I will just choose block. So on the bigger devices, it will be shown. Only on the mobile, it will be hidden, as you can see here. Okay. Then I actually want to move this one a bit to the left-hand side, sorry, to the right-hand side. So I will go into spacing, and then using the margin, I will make it centered like that. And also I can use this for the button itself. So I will select the button, the stylable element, as you can see, and I will make it a bit like that. Yeah, 1 rem is fine. So this one is now in the middle. Let me just move it back, maybe 3. Yeah, and then this one is more visible on the mobile now. Maybe we can also increase this size a bit. Everything else is looking good. There's a bit too much text, so maybe we can make it a bit smaller and make it the container a bit less spaced out like that. 0.25. That looks great. It is okay. So this part, as we centered it, as you can see, it is showing up nicely. Here we just need to play with the spacing a bit. There we go. And the rest is fine. Over here, I still want to space this out a bit. So maybe just decrease the text. That's fine. And then this is looking great. So what happens when we actually go back to the bigger devices? Let's just go back and see. As you see over here, it changed back on the bigger devices to center. And the reason is because the spacing, or actually the sizing and everything, is just a bit mixed up. So here we set up how we want it, but on the bigger devices we need to set up that we want it a different way because the software doesn't know it. So when we choose the container that is holding our images over here, we just set this up back to auto. As you can see, it already pops back, so we don't have to do a lot. We just set these up to be displayed on this size, and we can also set up the layout on this side like that. So we can do that immediately. So just on this side, you want this on this side, and the text also aligned left. And when we select the image, we go up to this to the container level. We set up the sizing to auto. It immediately pops back, so everything is back to normal. However, on these mobile devices, it is not. Only on the bigger devices, as you can see. So this is a cool way, and people get angry when they're saying like, "Oh, I set up everything, but it is popping back, and I don't know. I just give up." Don't give up. Just tinker with it, play with it. It will be better. So we are now in the container. Let's just set up everything to the left hand side, also the text over here, and we are good to go. Yeah, because there's two lines over here, it is a bit looking a bit strange. So this image is not as big as the other ones, so my button is coming out a bit from the border, but we can manage that like that. You see, this image is sized differently than the other ones. The other ones are taller than this one, so this is why it looks different. But anyway, that is it. On the bigger devices, this is looking great as well. And over here, this is looking fine. The only thing is that we just need to make sure all the images on the top are the same, because we don't want them to be misaligned, but the rest is fine. Yeah, perfect. And here as well. Great. So I'm happy with it. I will just publish it. Why did they change on the large one since you did not have them lit up? I thought if you just light up a certain size, that's the only place the change will happen. Now you have me confused. Rob, don't take it to heart. It is software. You sometimes need to have software told, okay, so on this device, do it this way, but it doesn't know what you want on the other devices as well. So you need to go back and tell on the other devices, do it this way. So I mentioned this in a couple of my previous responsiveness videos. In case you were not watching, you need to mention the software on this device, I want it this way. On this device, I want it this way. On this device, I want it this way. On this device, if you don't mention it, as you saw, I just pulled in the block, and then only on the smaller devices I set up that I want it differently. So the software thought, okay, I will set it up on all the devices because I think he wants it on all the devices. But then you just need to go back and say, no, on this device, I don't want it. On this device, I don't want it to change. On this device, I don't want it to change, and things like this. Could you summarize what the workaround was for the social media icons side by side earlier? Yes, so let me just do one here. What you want to do is pull in a container wherever you have the social media icons. You pull in the icon over here, and then make sure that the icons are, or basically the container is not set up using this vertical. Okay, so center the icons, then when you duplicate them, they will be coming next to each other. When you, let me just show you what happens when the container is actually set up using those vertical options. So now I'm in the container. If I click the vertical, and then I set up actually this centering, it will be lining up to be vertically centered, you know. So make sure that you try to not work in a container where you have a lot of different things. And then this is why the workaround is just to pull in another container from the elements tab, and then make sure you don't press the vertical itself on the container. And now when you actually center it, it will be coming next to each other. Does Groove have a feature where you can put something that takes you to the top of the page after you have scrolled all the way down? No, but you can set that up. You can set, for example, a link here in the footer somewhere, and then using the hashtag option that I showed you, you can just have basically this block called top or something like that. You can call the navigation block called top bar or nav menu or something like that, and then you put a link at the bottom of it. When this link is clicked over here, then it goes back to the top. So that is not a huge issue. You can put in a feature request in case you want something that hovers over here. You can turn it on and off on some platforms. We don't have that one yet. But anyway, I'm fine with the website. We now created this one. You know what to do. I just wanted to actually show you how I set up the donate button. So when somebody clicks the donate button, what happens? This is where I am using DonorBox. So you can log in or sign up. I have created an account. It's pretty simple. You just need to fill out your details, organization names, so these ones. It will also ask you a couple of extra questions like when you sign up, what kind of organization are you and things like this, but nothing fancy. You don't need to put in credit cards. You don't need to do anything else like that. I'll just log in. I already created my account. It's very simple to do. And this is how the dashboard looks like. So I will try to delete this one if I can. Archive. Okay, so let me just try to open a new complete new campaign. Okay, so this was the one that I did for the tutorial, for the basically the demonstration that I showed you previously, but I want to show you now how to set it up. So I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, but I want to set up a new campaign in DonorBox. So new campaign, you add the name of the campaign. For this one it will be donation demo. Okay, you add on the description of your campaign. You can add on a lot of text over here to make it look as your landing page. So I'll just use some text from my website. And then form language, auto detect loads loads the form in the donor's browser language. So in case you have different languages of your customers, it will be loading in the in that language. So in case it is saying subscribe in English, but it says something else in Spanish and it says something else in German, that word, that phrase subscribe will be translated automatically according to the browser of the customer, of the person visiting the form. Okay, so let's just go on. You can choose your currency. There's loads of different currencies. You can also do multiple currencies. So other currencies, you can just tick the boxes over here. I will just leave it on US dollars just to make it simple. Here you can add on different amounts. You can add explanations as well. This is optional in case you have like $10 will feed a child for a day or something like that, and the $50 will feed a family for a day, or $100 will keep a family safe for a month or something like that. I'm just coming up with these from my head. You can also set up multiple of these price points. In case you want to delete those, you can just click on these. But you will also have the option to have their own, basically the field to put in the how much they want to donate. You can also decide if you want to show the USD or delete, or basically not show, hide or show. So campaign goal, you can also put in donation meters. So the campaign is to collect $1,000, for example, $1,000. And then you can see when the people donate, it will be adding up more and more, and then people will be shown a donation meter if the goal of this campaign was reached or not. So display the full amount collected by the campaign, display the amount collected or for current month and things like this. You can set this up yourself. Give donors the option to leave comments. So in case somebody wants to leave a comment, you can allow that or not. And you can also set up a redirect after the donation where the people are sent to. You can send them to a custom thank you page that you create in GroovePages. You can create a thank you page. Thank you for your donation. It will help a lot. Please visit our Facebook page or Facebook group or whatever. Like, please visit our shop or something like that. You can send them to a different thank you pages or different places where you want them. Okay, we can just not redirect anybody, and we can just go with the next page. The next page is the email. You will be automatically sending out emails with the text that you type in here. So dear donor's first name, this will be custom, dynamically filled out. This is a receipt for your gracious donation to Lemon Donation. And then these will be the donation details. Thank you from da da da. You can send a text email for yourself. You can ask the donors to subscribe to your email or ask donors to agree with your GDPR terms. You can also add on here the privacy policy and terms of service. You can add different links inside here. So you can create these pages like privacy policy or terms of service pages inside GroovePages, and you can just add them on here as a link, as a hyperlink to the text. Okay, let's just go to the next page. You can choose what you are collecting. You're collecting the address, collecting the phone, employment info. I'll just leave these blank for now. You can choose donation intervals. You can allow them to choose one time, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. I'll just leave these three on here. And you can set up which one is the default. The default will be pre-selected. So in case somebody comes to the page, let me just show you. In case somebody comes to the page, you can see the default on here is the annual. You can set up a different default to be monthly, or you can set up a different default to be one time. Where am I here? So this is where you choose those. If you want, you can also recommend an interval. It will put a heart icon next to the recommended one. So for example, I set up my recommended to be monthly, and then as you can see, there is a small heart icon showing up next to that one. You can select, for example, I will just select weekly. You can also set up different call to action messages if you want, if you have the need for that. You can also disable custom amount if you don't want the custom amount. In case you only want them to choose from your set amounts, that is possible. Enable company donations, so a company can register and company can donate. Ask donors to cover the processing fee. This is what I mentioned previously, that you don't have to pay for the processing fee in case you don't want to, in case choose not to. You can ask the donors to actually set that up themselves or cover that themselves. You can have a turn reCAPTCHA form on the load. You can enable anonymous donations as well. This I've seen a lot of places previously. And when you have this checked, then you can also offer to check the checkbox, basically cover the fee checkbox. Okay, here for legal compliance, you can see the examples that they have, but you need to make sure that you have some kind of a legal compliance for taxes and things like this. Form URL, this will be where the form will be showing up. I will just leave Lemon Donation. You will see they give you a small landing page themselves from DonorBox. So in case you want not to embed it on your site, but you want to share the page as well, you can do that one. Okay, the next custom fields, you can add on some custom fields for donation in honor or in memory of this person. Allows donors to type a custom notification, send automated in honor memorial email, ask for donation designation, things like this. So there's a lot of different things you can set up. I'll just jump over this one. You can set up your Google Analytics and pixel trackings as well. And guys, this is all for free, so you don't have to pay for this itself. You don't have to pay for this. So Twitter share message, you can also set it up so that when somebody comes and wants to share the message, they actually can use the one-click tweet, and then they can share that out. I'll just leave this off. And then the design, you can upload your own logo, you can upload a background. I'll just use just this normal color that I was using so far, and I will set this up to be my color. There we go. Oops, I didn't want that, but there we go. As I didn't set up my payments for PayPal or Stripe, I'm seeing this warning message over here, but this is what my donation mm, donation page would look like. You can have this one as a small landing page, or you can only have this form with an embed code, so you can actually have this embedded to your page, and I will show you now how to do that. So save and preview. This is going to be the donation landing page they give us, and then we can go to dashboard and actually get everything set up there. So here it is asking you to connect your Stripe account or PayPal. They only have Stripe and PayPal so far, so in case you don't want that, you would need to contact them. In case you you can just simply connect it. You can create a Stripe account if you don't have yet, or you can connect your own. But basically that is it. So let me just go back to the campaigns and let me show you how to actually embed it. So once you have your campaign, you can just click over here in the upper right hand side corner. You have this code icon. It is the same as when we have what we have over here. This is a source code icon. So I want to go to a pop-up and do donation pop-up, and in here I'll just simply pull in a code embed element. Okay, so I'll just click on it and then pull it inside, and now I have the code embed element on the pop-up. And then in the campaigns, I'll just click the embed form, and this code is the one I need to copy. Very simple. There's nothing fancy. You'll just copy. This will show up wherever you paste it. And then here is where I want to paste it. Save, and you can see it is showing up. You can save and exit, publish. There we go. Now I want to connect my button to the pop-up, which is called the donation update. One more time. And my other yellow button, which is over here, I want also to connect to a pop-up called donation, and then let's just update and then publish. Now let's just test it out and see how it looks like. Okay, so I will open it a new tab, a new incognito tab, just to see how it works for everybody that is new, that is coming to our page. Okay, here we go. The pop-up is showing up. We can select it as preset amount. You can write a comment or not. Go next. It's asking you for lemon. And donating with this form, you agree to our privacy policy in terms of service. This is what you set up in your legal requirements there. And then here is what the people will see. Credit card number, month, year, CVC code, optionally add 223 to cover processing fee. So this is optional. They don't have to, but you can ask them as well. So that is it. I will not click the donate button because it is not connected to any of the payment gateways that I have. But now, as you saw, you can actually set up very quickly a donation platform, a donation site, which will be working, and it is fully mobile responsive as well. So I believe we are now set and ready to go to answer some questions of yours. I have been doing this video for 2 hours now, but let's just go and then see what your questions are. I don't need this one, so I'll just delete this. There we go. Good question from Darcy. Can you name label buttons? So if you update one, it would update universally. I'm not quite sure what you mean label buttons. Is this inside GroovePages or is it inside DonorBox? I'm not quite sure what you mean by can you name label buttons if you update one. So if you want to do like a global button that you want this button and this button to change together, that in case you do something to this button, the other button will change. That is not possible at this point. Question from Rob: how do you make nav static on the page? And Rob, this is already been covered. There is a tutorial inside the Facebook group. If you go into the section called tutorial videos, and there is a video that is called "Are you wondering how to create sticky headers navigation bars?" I give you the code. This is basically the code you would need to copy. You paste it in there, and then you can follow the video that is in here to actually set it up for yourself. Question: does Groove have a feature where you can put something that takes you to the top of the page? Okay, so this I answered. Denise, okay, summarize the final workaround. The email address in the header is not inline vertically with the logo. What is the correction? Let me just have a look. Okay, so for this one, it is pretty simple. You can just move this up using the spacing. You can add on bottom padding, I believe, not this way. Yeah, like that. I believe it is now in line. So you just make a negative margin on this one itself, but you need to check if it will be working on all of the devices itself. So yeah, just select the text and put negative margin, and then just make it up, just pull it up a bit. Question: can you summarize? Okay, so this I answered already. Is there a copy formatting feature like a pen brush in Word and Excel to copy a text format from some text and apply same format to the other? There is no formatting, but you can save the styling as a global style. So you save the style of this text, for example, the font, the size, the colors, the everything, the spacing, and you can save this as a new style, and then you can come to another text, and then you can just apply that style. How to make a nav menu footer consistent across all the pages. I've made some changes on the new page, but I didn't update other pages. So what I do, Darcy, is I come into the block section and then save it. So I save it as a navigation bar. Okay, and then I go into the footer and I save it as a footer. There we go, save it as a footer. Bam. So now I go to the next page, which I'm starting, and the first thing I do is from the design block. So it will be saved to the blocks, design blocks, navigation bar. As you can see here, now I have my lemon donation header, and also I have here the footer, which was saved. So it's not this one, but this one. So I have now the header and footer that was saved, and now it is exactly the same and prepared also for responsiveness. Does Groove have the feature where you can put something that takes you to the top? Okay, so this one I answered already. Naming the block, is that okay? So this I answered as well. Privacy policy terms and doesn't look centered. It is, but it's just that this icon over here is over here. As you can see, it is not centered with the text, but because the icon is a bit bigger, this is why it is not looking centered, but it is centered. In case you have a look at the image, this green box, this one, this privacy policy and terms and service are in the middle. Great. Today's biggest learning: when all else fails, nest element in another container. My text alignment misbehaves so often, so thanks for the tip. Absolutely. So is it possible to create a parallax effect? Thanks. Yes, it is possible. When you are in the some kind of a background section, you choose an image. For example, I'll just choose, I don't know, this image to be my background image, and then next to that it shows up the parallax effect. So in case you remove the color overlay, you when you scroll up and down, now I don't have anything anywhere to scroll, but in case I would have, it would have a parallax. In case you turn this off, it will not have the parallax effect. Okay. I'm just looking through the questions that were asked at the beginning. Is there a way to bulk change element block backgrounds to white or another color? I don't like that its default is gray, not white. So this is on the pre-made blocks. You would just need to click on them and then actually do it, change it. There is no way to do globally anything at this point, Darcy. So you would need to go and change the blocks yourself. David, you're always charming. I'm happiest person because I'm running old age home. I want donations because of Chinese virus. Please help me. So Narasimha Rao, this is the way I would suggest you to set up donations. Just start sharing it out on Facebook. Just set this up, start sharing it out on Facebook, start sharing it out wherever you can. Also ask your donators and friends to share it out as much as they can. And yeah, this is what I can suggest you. There's no other way that I could help other than showing you what you need to do exactly step by step. Okay. How long would it take to make a professional landing page and funnels with Groove? I just upgraded to Platinum. Well, it depends what kind of complexity if you're looking for. In case you're looking for doing one block sign up pages, it can be done in 30 minutes or less. I can do a lot of them in 5 minutes or so, but for new people, it takes a learning curve, or basically it takes learning time. For long sales pages, it takes much longer than that. Even for me, I'm working on a sales long form sales page for a week now, and I'm not even on halfway. I really am going all out there with that one, but it is just too long. So yes. Dun, dun, dun. Can I download David's templates into GroovePages? You can, but I don't suggest it. I suggested you to actually go out there and recreate it using one of my videos. It will be much better for you. It was educational again, David. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Rob. Regarding header footer question, I've done that, but then I made an update and had to go and correct every page. I'm hoping there's a Darcy, as I mentioned, there is no universal way yet. This is our feature request, so please go to feedback.groovefunnels.com and you can vote on that. It was requested already. But yeah, you just resave it, basically delete the block that you had previously saved, delete that, resave the one that you have, and then just edit the pages. I cannot tell you anything other than that because there is no other way. Today worked on a template. There was no normal button in a form. Instead of a form button, where can I report so that people don't get completely lost? Today worked on a template. There was a normal button in a form. Okay, so just reach out to me on Facebook and just tell me which one was a template so I can actually go in there and then actually see what the problem is. Kenneth is saying this is pure evil. Did she really say Chinese virus? I'm not quite sure who said it and why or who or yeah, but it was said Chinese virus. Yes. There we go. So these were the questions, these were my answers. This is the page that we built out. I believe it is simple enough so that everybody can do it, even the people with a free account, even the people completely starting out. You just need to work with the blocks. You need to work with a bit of spacing and padding and a bit of custom work on these displays. Not so much over here. On here a bit, and then over here on these on the bottom, but everything else was done using wireframe blocks, and I believe it can be done by anybody. 2 hours and 20 minutes passed from when I started this video, so I'm ending it now. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in, and thank you very much for joining in and learning with me. Please do not try to copy over just my links and then paste it in your builder. This is not the way you would learn. You would learn by actually doing it. Just open a new tab, open a new, in case you have a two desktop view or basically another monitor. What I usually do is I open the video playing live on one of the sides, and on the other one I'm working and I am actually following it step by step. This is the best way to learn, because you're practicing, you're actually coming into problems, and then you are fixing those problems, and this is the best way to learn. So that's it, guys. Do your donation pages, do your donation sites, start your donation platforms, use DonorBox. As I said, I believe I signed up for 12 different platforms. Finding the best one, DonorBox won big time between all of those. It can also do a donor wall, so in case somebody donated and commented, it will be shown up. You can do a thank you page with a donor wall. Here is the embed code. You would do the same thing which I did with the pop-up. You would just do it on the page. You can also have a goal meter, as I was mentioning previously. My campaign is not enabled because I didn't set up my payment things, but in case it would be, then you would see like a goal meter. So $50 paid in from 1,000, and then it shows like a progress bar or something. So yeah, you can play with this one. DonorBox is awesome. I highly suggest you to use it. You can also add on MailChimp and Zapier and all kinds of different things to this one. So yeah, it is powerful. So that's it, guys. This was building out a charity donation page using GroovePages. I believe you learned something useful today. Please go out there, do your part, and help out charities and donate as much as you can. Thank you, guys, one more time, and then see you in the Facebook group. Bye-bye.